setting them down.
Okay. I fell when I was skiing, I don't wanna sit down there.
Fell when you were what?
All right,
Skiing. At snowshoe, very last run, right on my bone.
all right, Carol, you're gonna get it behind the table? You gotta come on back so you can see, because you're not in there. All right,
Which side is better, like that side has less cords, I'll go over here.
yeah, there's a chair for you right there, next to Carol, next to Cheryl. All right, we're here at Northern Neck Patriots Friday Night Vigil for the January Sixers. It is day 1451. It is December 27th, 2024, and as always, we'll start with a prayer and a pledge of allegiance. And let's keep this one short and sweet. But Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us to this holiday season, and what a wonderful time it is, and how excited everybody in the January 6th community is for what's coming in January. And may, with your grace, this be the last Christmas that anyone ever spends inside of bars for January 6th. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right.
Got yours.
Yeah, I know, I'm over
You
here.
should be doing fine. Showing people what you got in there.
I'm going to come on in next to you. Sit down. You want the outside?
Yeah, well, whatever works for you.
Come on in.
Oh, I gotta grab my knee.
This looks beautiful. I can't wait to try this out.
There's beer in there.
Beer in there. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. This is One Question Remains by Robert Morris. I'm showing you the book. Buy it, it's on Amazon, it's cheap. You can afford it. I haven't read it yet, I just got it.
You gotta use the mic because people won't hear you. If you haven't watched these things, you use the mic.
Okay, that's all Dominic, I got it. Card.
These are my mama's. Oh, I'm using my-
Gotta use the mic.
These are my mama's cookies. They are chocolate chip.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta try it. There's two kinds there, it looks like. I didn't realize she made two
Yeah, it
kinds.
looks like a oatmeal and a chocolate.
I got,
It's just debating because I have to.
ooh, this is loud.
Yeah.
I got cookies in the mail from Christopher Quaglin's mother, and they must be gluten-free. So I writing to him and tell him that, haha, you don't get it. I did.
Oh, that's funny. I hope he finds it as funny.
Fantastic. Well, a lot of people are traveling and doing, obviously, Christmas sort of things. So John Haynes is not going to join us, but he may be calling in. He's supposed to be speaking to Robert Morse, Lego Man, right about now. And maybe we'll get lucky and have those two call us in a conference. But either way, we'll get an update from John and Robert. But yes, as Cheryl just pointed out, One Question Remains is the book that Kelly Meggs and Robert Morse have put out. It just became available on Amazon recently. It's only, I don't know, it's cheap. It's like $9 or something. It's $10. It's not much, as I recall. And so definitely going to get a chance to read that over the next few days. I'm reading Sidney Powell's License to Lie recently. That's the book that I chose for the holiday season, and pretty amazing. She starts out talking about Senator Ted Stevens, and I don't know how many people on this table remember who he is or was, but he was a senator who was killed. He started asking questions about the way he was treated by the Department of Justice, and he was treated pretty poorly by them. They basically did that same show me a ham sandwich and I'll indict it kind of situation and went after him. So this is an important part of what we're here as well to do, is to remind folks that we need to work on our institutions in this beautiful age that we're about ready to advance into with President Trump coming back into office. There's work to be done, lots of work to be done, and it's going to be taking everyone's attention in their own special way that they can help to shine a light on these injustices, because now is the time. I was talking with somebody today. This is our chance, and we have to take advantage of it. This is the problem with many conservative folks, that we have the opportunity to do something and we just kind of sit back, but we have got to stamp out evil in its tracks. It's the neck on the throat. It's keep the pressure on until those people never do what they did to us ever again. So there you go.
You bring up a really good point. One of the mechanisms by which we got here is the apathy that comes with enjoying the lifestyle and the freedom that you have. But we all know that freedom is never free, and the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. And if you don't engage in the vigilance part, you're going to lose it. So Tom's absolutely correct. The conservatives tend to be the ones that compromise. We give an inch so that the others can take a mile, and we don't push back on that. Traditionally, we don't, because we just want to live our lives and be left alone. Well, every once in a while, maybe one day a week, we need to get out there and push back. So Tom's absolutely right. We need to not repeat that subtle, passive, inactive error of inactivity. We need to stop that. So, yes.
Want cookies? Cookies.
One.
I wanted to share them because that's, I mean, my mom and dad, they're in their early 80s. I'm so fortunate to have both of them still, you know, alive and kicking and doing well, actually. And Dad, this is to you. I'm not sure if you'll watch this video because I know you've rarely seen these if you have at all, but yesterday morning when I left for seeing them for Christmas, I had a special, like, God-given thing that happened. Their development, the Homeowners Association isn't taking care of the grounds like they should. In fact, they had a truck that is supposed to be spreading salt and cinders and things, but it's broken, and it has been broken for months, and they haven't fixed it. So essentially, the driveway up out of their development was icy. It was a sheet of ice. And my two-wheel drive truck couldn't make it. So my dad decided that the best thing to do would be to pull me with his four-wheel drive truck, which weighs substantially less than my truck, by the way. You know where we're going with this?
I already know where we're going.
We made it 3/4 up the hill, and then we both started going back. I slid into the ditch, and he fit behind me, and bam! So I think it's the first time, Dad, that you've ever run into another vehicle in your entire life, and it was your son. So, but I think God did that for a reason, probably, because I got to hang around with him, and believe it or not, he had all the tools it took to take a set of tire chains that didn't fit my truck and make them fit my truck.
Really?
He had a thing that was like a 3-foot long set of pliers, basically, thing that was very old, probably 100 years old. And it was made for doing that exact thing. And after about like 2 hours, we had chains to fit my truck, and I left. But anyways, a fun time with Dad. Hey, I got a letter from a guy named Brian Wilson. Do you guys know who that is?
One of the Beach Boys.
Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson is, oh, actually, I wasn't going to say his name, so I got a letter from somebody.
Redacted.
So it was addressed to us, the Northern Neck Patriots. Dear Northern Neck Patriots, I'm going to get a little permission from him after the fact, but here in the DC Gulag, I've been able to read some of your letters that a few of the others have shared. Having such wonderful Americans like yourselves doing so much and talking and taking so much of your own time to keep our spirits up and get the news to us is such a blessing. I'm a wheat farmer from Athena, Oregon. My amazing wife and our 2 young boys are back home and getting by okay. My mom moved in with my family before I left for trial on October 8th and was locked up on the 10th of October. I know us dry land wheat farmers are a major threat to this great nation, but we don't know what else to do when corrupt people try to take over our elections. Just wanted to tell you we all appreciate you and keep up the fight. Your friend, Ryan Wilson, in his number. So I went ahead and looked up a little bit about Ryan. Ryan's charges are very similar to everybody else's. Civil disorder, assaulting, resisting, or impeding. Again, that can be anything from touching a sign that went overhead in the crowd to that ended up
Walking by an officer.
or walking by or bumping into, whatever the case. Entering and remaining in a restricted building, deadly or dangerous weapon, sort of conduct, and so on. But anyway, he was arrested on September 9th of 2023. He was found guilty on October 10th, and his sentencing date is January 16th of 2025. Your birthday.
How about that?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do on your birthday? You going to DC?
I don't know.
I wouldn't go to DC on your birthday, but I was in DC on my birthday last Friday.
yeah.
So, yeah, it was fantastic. I had a wonderful time being there on Freedom Corner with Mickey and
Your
everybody.
ugly sweater.
My ugly sweater.
My ugly sweater, which was really simply, it was, my entry was the too small for you category. You know, I should win that because it was a sweater that Mickey gave me. But I don't know who won that contest. Do you?
No, I don't.
I imagine that they thought that probably Stormtrooper or Sherry was probably going to be the winners of that one.
Does that? Go ahead, Maurice. Nothing.
Nothing in particular. I was just trying to get the out of the
My
thing.
glasses I almost wore.
I could read this.
What's up? What power are you using?
I got a Christmas card, and if Valerie's listening, that it's from your son, and says
Who's it from?
Dominic Box. It says, "Hi Cheryl, I hope your cats like dogs. Otherwise, you and Maurice better not show him this card." So it says, "Thank you both for making me feel both seen, loved, cared for throughout the duration of this incredible ordeal we have been part of. I have kept every letter, newsletter, and newspaper that you all sent, and since I arrived in the Gulag over a year ago, I want you to know how much I value our friendship forged through the fires of this trial. You and the entire Northern Neck Patriots crew are the best examples of what it means to be an American, and I look forward to connecting in the real free world soon. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year."
That's exciting to think about these guys that are, you know, my mom and dad and I night before last, we watched Freedom Corner, the live stream from there. That's the first one that they had ever seen, and they were all talking about January 20th can't come soon enough. And my mom, who's probably, you know, more conservative than I am, her initial reaction was, "I hope they're not getting their hopes up." Well, I think that that's the right thing to think, that, you know, perhaps just like everything else, I don't want to think it either, and I think that it's going to happen. I think a lot of them, at least, are going to, and that's what I told them. Hopefully what happens is that all of them that are serving time get their sentences commuted. Everybody that's being held in, you know, pending sentencing or a trial gets out, because we can find them if we need to. It's not a worry, you know, they're not going anywhere. So I think that's what needs to happen, and then, you know, I'm not going to wade into the debate of case by case or pardons of innocence or this or that, but I think that January 20th is going to be a big day. I think President Trump is going to get to work right away. I mean, he said already, yeah, he's already working. You're right, Karen. That's very important. You're right, Cheryl.
I just ordered 4 inauguration tickets,
And one of them's for you.
You're going to the
I want to,
inauguration?
yes.
Fantastic. Wow, that's going to be cool.
Did you have to pay for them? But the way they do it is a raffle.
Here, talk about it. So what did you do?
I went
You
to
went
the
online?
Robert Whitman site, Robert Whitman Gov, and you look up inauguration tickets. You can get 4 at a time, but you have to put in each person's name, and you have to be from First District, Virginia,
Okay.
here. And then you just put in the information, and then they said it's a raffle first come basis.
So wait, you get all 4? I mean, if
Yes,
you put in,
yes.
you win the raffle, you get your 4?
Your 4 tickets, that's
Oh.
my understanding.
Wow,
Yeah, so,
that's cool. Cool,
so we'll see how that works.
fantastic.
But I didn't know who to get them for at first. I just wanted 4 tickets. So I put me, my husband, Larry. I remember you told me you and Maurice weren't going. And I'm like, okay, Tom, tag, you're it. So,
Cool, thank you.
Thank
inauguration.
you. Yeah, that's fantastic. I think that's going to be great. And also, again, you know, is this going to be the same sort of inauguration that they've had? I don't know for sure. They're working on the scaffolding. They're doing that, right? We've seen that. Maurice, here you go.
Yeah, I had some thoughts on that, because we know that our enemies are looking to make sure that he doesn't get inaugurated. So I thought about that, and you know, I couldn't find anything in the Constitution or any other documentation that says that it has to be public. There's nothing in the world stopping the Supreme Court Justice from doing an inauguration behind closed doors. Nothing at all. So, I mean, I was just trying to think, okay, what can a guy do when you've got a whole bunch of people that are trying to make it not happen so that you make it happen?
Put them in a bulletproof.
So, that was one that I came up with, and I'm sure that there's others. And there's probably so much more going on there that any of us know. So, I mean, just saying, but it seems to me that that's one way to get an inauguration done, is by not letting it be public.
Right. Yeah, so they're talking about, you know, perhaps just doing it in a different location. But no matter what, like within minutes after 2 o'clock, they're going to be up and running, is my
9
understanding.
minutes. 9 minutes after he's sworn in.
Yeah, that's what
9 minutes after he's sworn in, that's when
it said
things
probably.
might be happening.
Yep, I read that.
No, where'd you hear that?
All over the place.
Articles, news articles
All
on
over.
the internet.
Fantastic. I think so. Why not?
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should get right to work. So, this is
That's why I kind of think it's going to happen.
Oh, well.
It's
I mean,
gonna happen.
he hasn't backed down. I think it's going to happen.
Great. All right, so the NPR website was not updated today on January, December. What is today?
December 16th at 3.
27th?
27th, thank you. December 27th. December 20th is the last update. So there were 3, 4, 5 new arrests as of last Friday. And I think since we weren't here, I'm gonna go ahead and mention these guys. Daniel Dustin Deneau, 51 years old, from Collie, Texas. David Caleb Crosby, 35 years old, from Phoenix, Arizona. Judith Hoekstra from Concord, North Carolina. Steve Johnson Jr.,
No relation.
Roanoke, Virginia, and Shane Miller from San Jose, California. Those were the 5 arrested as of January, I keep saying that, as of December 20th. The updates are numerous. Again, they talk about, there's no rush to try to do things, but the number of cases of hearings and sentencings going on has definitely spiked in the last several weeks and months. So the updates here are Jared Hunter Adams, 26 years old, from Plain City, Ohio, he pled not guilty to all charges. He was found guilty on December 13th, and his sentencing is set for May 12th of 2025. Jordan Burke, 43 from California. He pled guilty to one charge of entering and remaining a restricted building or grounds. He was sentenced on 12/20/24 to 24 months of probation with conditions. Lawrence Billiter, he pled not guilty to all charges. The court dismissed the obstruction charge with prejudice. With prejudice. How about that?
That's amazing.
It is amazing. How can you dismiss a charge with prejudice when the Supreme Court said that it is not legal to be utilized? This is going to be very interesting how this plays out. He was found guilty on 5 charges on December 16th.
Hello,
How's it going? Is this Tom Jeffries?
this is Tom. Is that Robert?
Yes, it is.
Oh, ho, ho.
Ho ho, Robert Morris.
Hey, the
Welcome.
gang's all here.
Lego
Hey, how's it going?
Cheryl and Maurice is here and Carol.
Excellent. What's going on, everybody? Happy late Christmas.
Yeah,
Yes,
same to
ditto.
you. Are you talking with John, or did you finish speaking with him?
I just got done speaking with him. He is very excited about connecting the dots and promoting the book and making his impact, and especially pursuing justice with this latest class action lawsuit, which is amazing. It's very exciting. Our time has finally come. But yeah, he said that he was hoping I could speak on the vigil tonight, and I'm honored to do so.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you called us. We've got your copy of your book, One Question Remains.
2 of us have it.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Just needed autograph.
Yeah, that's my plan. You know, I completely intend to come to Virginia after I'm pardoned. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a road trip. I've got a lot of people in Virginia to thank, and I think I'm going to get my "We the People" tattoo done in Virginia while I'm there. So yeah, I got my right arm to fill up, and I'm fixing to do that in Virginia.
All right.
Awesome.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where are you working now? John mentioned you were working.
Yeah, so I am at Glenshaw Steel. It's a steel company up here in Pittsburgh. And we do everything you can imagine that you can with steel. We'll bend it, weld it, break it, fold it, cut it with pressure or plasma or what have you to pretty much make you whatever you want to make. It's amazing. It's hard work, don't get me wrong. I've smashed my hand a couple of times and I've got 2 fingernails that are growing back as we speak. No, it's the type of job that a man needs when he gets out of prison, I'll tell you that.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That sounds really cool. And it sounds interesting too, because if you're doing, not just the same, you're not stamping out the same product, you're doing different exciting things.
Right, it's always different. It's always something unique. It's always something cool and intriguing. And, we could be working on custom car parts one minute. We could be working on bridge parts the next minute. I mean, we could be working on, there's this guy up the road there. He's famous for his sculpting. He's got like a $5 million home. And we just sent him a couple pieces that he requested for his latest sculpture that he's doing. Einstein or something like that, and he got done with a Benjamin Franklin that he sent to Philly recently, and so it's just amazing the things that people can do. And I love asking the customers, what are you going to do with this? And I'm actually curious. I'm not just trying to make small talk. I love hearing the stories. I love hearing what people are up to, and sometimes maybe they're just making small little adjustments to their home, and other times, they might be making like a whole statue or something. It's just crazy, the stuff that humans are capable of and creative enough to perform. It's great.
Well, you're an artist anyway, right? I mean, you did the mural. Talk about the mural again for people who might not be familiar with that. I've not yet seen it, but I'd love to get there.
Absolutely. Well, I haven't seen it in a while either, so maybe we can both go because it's been a while since I've been there. So yeah, long story short, I met a woman at Penn State while I was working at the Office of Veterans Programs who was in a woman's coffee hour at the time. So all the females that were working that were veterans at the time kind of had like a special opportunity to be with themselves. And I was working at the time in the front desk there as like the secretary, if you will. And I overheard a voice that I didn't recognize say that we've been trying for years to get a mural painted. and no one's been able to do that for us. And for whatever reason, I kind of latched onto that statement, and it might have been because I didn't recognize the voice, but as the meeting was concluding and the people were exiting, I kind of just watched to see who was leaving the room that was adjacent to where the front desk was. And I recognized all these faces but one. So I approached her and I asked if she was the one asking about the mural. She said yes. Well, I said, well, my name's Robert Morse, and I'm going to get that mural done for you. And I have no idea why I even said that, because I've never even painted a painting bigger than like 3 square feet. You know, so I have no idea why I did that. You know, maybe it was God that gave me the courage to do so, or whatever, because He does tell us to be strong and courageous. But I don't remember reading about the painting murals in Deuteronomy. But I digress. I told her I was going to get it done. And at first it was just like, you know, a cool hobby, almost like a favor that we were doing for the post 150 American Legion in Petersburg, Pennsylvania. But then while we were painting, Shelley Ormsby, the woman that I made this offer to, let me and my crew know that, hey, could you guys finish this by August 1st? Because it's the 100th anniversary of this Legion's founding, and we would love to unveil the mural then. And
No pressure.
everybody looked at each other like, wow, I guess we really have to work hard at this thing now. You know, so we kicked it into overdrive, but it was a incredible unveiling ceremony. We had 10 panels for this 20-foot wide mural. Each panel was 2 feet wide. And we had veterans from different campaigns and different significant people to the Legion unveil each panel. And so we were blessed with the honor of a World War II veteran unveiling the World War II panel, because this mural cataloged every major conflict in American history of warfare. And there's many Easter eggs that I hid within. My crew was fantastic. They did everything that I asked for and more. And it would not have been possible without the people that painted side by side with me. But I was able to organize and put this mural together in a little less than 8 months. And so we could unveil it at the 100th anniversary of the Petersburg Legion, American Legion Post 150 on August 1st, 2020. So that was pretty cool. And they were so impressed that they offered the opportunity for me to try to become their mayor. And my response was that, hey, maybe I should finish college first. Yeah, so yeah, I'm telling you, it's been a wild ride. But yeah, that was pretty cool. You know, it's not every day you get offered to become a city's mayor, so that was nice. That was a cool, you know, thing to brag about, I guess. But I did graduate December 19th, 2020, and then 2 weeks later, I found myself at the Capitol.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw you on Cowboy Logic for the J6 Christmas special, you and your mom. That was special.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that was a special moment, you know, because everything finally came full circle. You know, she had been fighting for years now to bring me home. And as she described in that interview, you know, she was confident that because of my 0 criminal history and the fact that I served the community with, you know, the mural painting, or the fact that I was a veteran, or, you know, that I was a teacher, that surely I would be given bond. But no, the justice system in this country had different plans, and the prosecution made me out to be like the biggest villain since Osama bin Laden, and the judge was complicit in all of it. And I did not get to come home that day, but this Christmas was powerful for that reason alone, and among many others. But it was really cool that she got to tell her story finally.
Well, I will be honest with you, I didn't get to see it yet. I was traveling, but I'm excited to try to sit down and watch that.
It was a pretty heartfelt story that your mom told.
Yeah.
Just a point of humor, I have to ask the question, do you plan on continuing to purchase Legos?
Oh, it's already been done, man. I'm the Lego man. That ain't going anywhere. And I'll tell you what, it ain't Christmas without there being Legos. So I got a big fat Lego set for Christmas. You best believe.
Awesome, awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no shame in it, you know. But I was actually having this conversation with somebody the day after Christmas, where I think that the same kind of creative mind that is activated in model trains or watch repairmen and like the skills that take the fine details and high observation skills and the creativity to want to make things move or represent something is all activated. And so I don't think that Lego should be discounted as like a children's activity because of the amount of brain activity that's involved in creating something out of nothing. I mean, you're taking a pile of plastic and you're making it look like an airplane or a castle or, what have you. And that, I mean, not just anybody can do that, So, I mean, granted, mostly kids play with Legos, but they've actually recently released a whole brand of Legos completely marketed to adults, where you have like the smaller, finer pieces, and the Lego set options are actually more adult based, not in any kind of like, R-rated sense. I mean, just more like they're more complex. You're actually building Lego sets that a child wouldn't have the patience for. So that's kind of cool. And I would say that redeems its cool guy credibility a little bit, if you will. But
Sure.
I'm the Lego man, and I'm not going anywhere. And I love Legos, and I will continue to love Legos till the day I die. And I'm going to continue to collect Legos because I intend to give my son or daughter my collection of Legos when they're old enough to play with them. And that was the whole reason why I had Legos in my apartment in the first place, was I wanted to give my students an opportunity to play with them, to chill out, and to hopefully bless my son or daughter with them, who doesn't even exist yet, the Legos that their dad played with when he was young.
So let me ask you this, you mentioned your students. Is teaching still part of your future?
100%. But I think I'm going to become a doctor before I re-enter the education field.
Wow.
Again.
Wow. What called you to that profession, Doogie Howser?
Well, I will tell you that, I mean, getting your PhD in anything these days, though it's, because the universities have become pretty much communist breeding grounds, it has a mark of disdain to it. But I will say that getting a doctorate in education still speaks volumes about the amount of dedication and sacrifice you're willing to put behind something of value. I intend to pursue a doctorate in history if at all possible, but I still haven't made up my mind yet. Obviously I have my bachelor's degree in secondary education, and with a minor in political science and a minor in history. So my breadth of information and exposure to topics that involve current events, history, and how to communicate the gap between the two, and also to communicate that to students, it was prime for what's happening now, and how I wielded that power that I earned throughout my entire life, really, not just at Penn State. But the idea behind that is to if need be, replace the powerhouses like Mark Levin, or the powerhouses like Sean Hannity, or Rush Limbaugh, rest in peace. We need people that are going to fill these gaps. We can't rely on these individuals forever, and so the people that have been willing to make these judgment calls on current events and call out Democrats for how awful their policy making decisions are, and then present historical and political and biblical accolades upon candidates that accomplish wonders like Trump has. I want to be able to accurately do that and know what I'm talking about, as opposed to just parroting things because Fox News said so. I want to be able to look at this text, look at this current event, make up my mind and say, this is relevant for these reasons. it's wrong because of this, or it's right because of that. And we need that. And if this society is going to continue, we can't rely on people that, you know, may be past their prime. And I'm not saying that that's the case. But, you know, I don't think anybody can replace Rush Limbaugh, but we can imitate him, you know, or
Right.
I don't think anybody can replace Mark Levin, but we can imitate him. And, you know, I mean, speaking of the book that you'd already purchased, I appreciate you doing that as well. We actually reference Mark Levin quite a bit in the book because I think he's one of the best educated and effective at calling out the Marxist playbook when he sees it because of his background in the constitutional studies. So it's a big deal. I mean, this is how we make America great again, is by saddling up, putting our boots on, and saying, you know what, I'm ready to inherit the torch now. And so I'm trying to refine myself into that individual who can say that.
About what it takes to make sure that this mess never ever happens again. And that being complacency can't ever be part of it. Freedom always comes with a cost, and
Right.
we need to pay the price every day.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, that's, I forget where the saying comes from for this particular one, but I like the phrase, earn your sleep. You know, where you can look back at your day and say, you know what, man, I left it better than I found it, or what have you. You know, to answer that question that you had, that you were discussing earlier, we actually dive into that in the book. One question remains. There's 16 official chapters, but the 16th chapter is the biggest because what you just asked, we peel back each of the layers of that onion and answer that to the point where once the reader's done with this book, not only do they feel proud to be an American again, but they also have the motivation and the roadmap to make America great again. So yes, the book, you know, rewinds time back to 2016 where we start the road down memory lane, and we believe that, you know, the moment that that Bernie Sanders got iced from the DNC actually kind of set the tone for everything that we would see from here on out, which, if you can believe that, that's exactly what ended up happening. But the buildup from that moment to January 6th and everything that January 6th did to this country, whether it was initially terrible or eventually beautiful, we all describe in the book. And so the book becomes more than just a nice book to talk about January 6th or to talk about, you know, why we're on the right side of history. It actually becomes a part of our January 6th movement. Do you guys mind if I explain the Easter egg that I left inside the book, like I leave inside of almost everything that I do?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so this is something that you guys will find if you have the book there with you, and if you don't, and if anyone's listening, go and buy it. It's on Amazon. One question remains, but there's an Easter egg that I left in there that I think you'll find absolutely beautiful. But essentially it's this. On the last official page of the book, One Question Remains, you'll find that it's mostly blank, except for the last line of the Declaration of Independence. And the reason for that is because after it talks about how, you know, with their firm faith in Providence and the protection of Providence, and they pledge to themselves their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, you'll recall that they all signed their names to that document. Well, there's a blank spot below that page and just to the left of it, so you too can sign your name. And every January 6er you meet can sign their name. So that One Question Remains isn't just a good book, it becomes a collector's item. And it becomes a crucial part of the January 6th movement.
I love it.
So that you can say, oh, I got this January 6er signature. Ooh, I got this January 6er signature. And then you can add your own to it. It's not limited to just the political prisoners. it's an invitation for anyone that contributed to our freedom and the fight against tyranny. And so the book becomes a part of our community, an irreplaceable part of our community. So if you consider yourself a patriot, if you consider yourself someone that gives a damn about the January 6ers, or if you give yourself if you consider yourself someone who cares about this country, that's the reason why you ought to buy this book. Read it, study it, and then get a signature from a political prisoner that's hopefully coming to a city near you. Watch out, DOJ. Because this is our mark on history, and it's the beginning of the redemption of our country.
That's a wonderful idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy extra copies, and I'm going to sign them, and I'm going to get them.
Give them for gifts.
Yeah, I'm going to take them on January 6th to Washington D.C. and then again.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to do that for sure.
Thank you. Well, I'll tell you what. That's essentially how we make America great again. And I think that, and we kind of go into this in the book as well too. But all of these terrible things had to happen. I mean, think about it. If it wasn't for the stolen election, and if it wasn't for January 6th, I would never be talking to you guys. Like, we would be all living our own little quiet little lives, and we never would have become networked, motivated, passionate beyond belief without these tragedies. And so what the enemy designed for horrific results, God had always intended for good. And so because of January 6th, now we all know each other's names. Now we have each other's numbers, and now we can actually get to work to make America great again, because now we have the passion, the motivation, and the network to do it. Before, we didn't. All we had was, Trump getting shot at from every single direction, metaphorically, before actually physically.
Right.
Being surrounded by wolves in sheep's clothing, and his attempt to make America great again was excellent on the surface, but it would never have had the lasting impact like it will now, because now we're all in this together. And he's not a one man trying to save this ship. Everybody got involved that had an ounce of patriotism within them, and now we're all ready to do this.
That's fantastic. I agree with you 100%. I mean, I think often about the tenacity of people that formed the January 6th movement. I mean, look at Mickey and Nicole and Cherry and all the rest of them, and Stormtrooper, that stand out there every single night for 870 days now, something like that, straight.
Cold and rain and snow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and then the network is amazing. The January 6th network is truly amazing, and I don't know.
And it's only going to grow.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, but as topics go, how do we evolve the general discussion? So we've got this kernel that is the January 6th event, Bastille Day, if you will.
Yeah.
And how do we go forward and show how the core of why and the mechanisms that made that happen, what are we actually fighting against? For the people that don't quite understand yet, how do we communicate to them that this wasn't just an event that happened with a bunch of Capitol Police that day?
No.
Right.
That there was a
It's more cynical.
whole freaking government with the media and everything else, our school systems, that it supported it from years and years ago by leading up to having a population that would believe anything that they were told.
Right.
And so basically what I'm trying to get to is, it looks to me like the number of people we have involved with the movement is appropriate to the size of the problem space we're going to try to attack.
Yeah, and so I think that's what gives me hope, is that, now we realize that, wow, we're not the minority, we're actually the majority, and we have the manpower to do it. We have the strength in numbers to get us through the day. And this is what I would say as far as like the first solution goes, is make a roadmap of the money. We would need a spider web, and at every single apex of that web, we have a person's name, a person's face, and why they're connected to the next name and person's face and the department that they worked in, so we can literally unfold this thing like a huge roadmap, if you will, right? And show this person paid this person to do this, or this person is married to that person. What do you know? This person is MSNBC. Why is their husband or wife, or whatever you're doing these days, because who knows who's married to who? Why are they in the Obama administration? Weird.
Or sitting
And
on
so
the
if
bench.
we had a map that you could unfold to people that would eventually fit in the size of someone's pocket, of all of the names, all of the faces, and just like a short, like almost like baseball card kind of index of what these people did and how they contributed to where we're at now. Like I said, that can fold up into your pocket, but that could fold out into a whole roadmap. That would be an undeniable way to put names to faces. It would be a conversation starter. I mean, you could have this handed out like side by side with the New Testament and a pocket constitution. Those three things right there, man, would be able to guide the movement if you had all of those lined up, ready to go. And I think that what we could do is we could focus on education from here on out. I think a lot of these people that continue to vote for Biden or continue to vote for Harris, regardless of, all of these things coming out, whether it was the FISA stuff, the Steele dossier, the Russian collusion, all of these things being confirmed, and they still doubled down on Harris, on Biden, is because they were in the matrix. And the only way to pull someone out of the matrix is with education. And so I think that's what needs to be focused on. And I think getting a spider web of every single individual who work in these departments, who their staff is, like, why are people that are working in the DNC the same people that are now working in these administrations? And then they're also the same people that are heading up the investigation in January 6th. It's not because they're good at what they do. This is like insider trading 101. So, yeah, so I think that's how you would do it. You would get that names to faces to departments to marriages map, baseball card kind of feature, and go from there.
No, it's a fantastic idea. Matthew Graves being at the top of it. Are you planning to go back to Penn State then for your master's and PhD?
I don't think so. I think my time in Pennsylvania has come to an end.
All right.
I moved out here in 2016, and I did not anticipate that I was going to end up doing prison time in Pennsylvania. It's sad to say, but very few people that I moved out to Pennsylvania to spend my time in college with actually communicate with me anymore. And I don't know if they got scared. I don't know if they decided to believe the media's lies as opposed to, believing who the man is. And not everybody did, which is the funny thing. So not everybody that I initially moved out to Pennsylvania to spend time with and or met here has cut ties with me, but enough to wonder, how strong was the friendship or relationship in the first place, but also enough to kind of indicate, maybe there's another green pasture where I can go to truly settle down. Maybe this is not what I was going to plant my stakes permanently, but temporarily, and so I have not considered Penn State as a place I'd like to go to college. I'm keeping my options open, but I will say that I am moving on from Pennsylvania.
Gotcha. Well, I was just there. My folks are in Central PA, not too far from State College, and
oh, cool.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful part of the country.
It is. It was 4 degrees below zero the day before on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, man, this is fantastic. Glad to speak to you. I mean, I think about how long ago, a little over 2 years ago, that we started the vigils at Northern Neck, and man, it was been a long time since I've heard your voice, this is fantastic. So.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, like I said, I think the time has come. I'm grateful for everything that you have done. I'm grateful for everybody in the state of Virginia for standing up and reminding the toxic Marxist government that we had over us at the time, and to this day still do to a degree, but reminding them that Virginians remember what it's like to stand up to tyranny, and that's not something that they're going to forget or forfeit anytime soon. So it's amazing. I'll never forget how we literally got moved from Northern Neck to Lewisburg because of the righteous indignation that you guys had.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate the uh-oh, heard something in the background there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. We're happy that we had something to do with it. Our work's not done here, by the way. There's a new superintendent, and there's still a lot of problems with that jail, and we're staying after it.
Good.
So, maybe one of these days when it's appropriate, you could come and stand in front of a jail board meeting and tell those people, tell your story, right? So,
That'd be amazing.
One of the things that the J6 hostages, as a consequence of their reality, pointed out is that our entire system of incarceration, if you will, is completely broken. At the last jail board meeting at NNRJ, the new superintendent gave a 40-minute diatribe on the challenges that the jail faces. She went through all these things that they got to protect staff from inmates and other people from those other people over there, and she missed the part where they're supposed to protect the inmates from the staff. But the one thing that she messed up on was that she pointed out that violating the Constitution is too hard, because if you've got two detainees together, one goes to trial and comes back a convict, that they have to have them be together. And the reason she brought that up is because she knows that in our mind, you don't put detainees in with convicts.
well, I specifically asked that question,
Yeah.
and that's why she worked that into it.
And the larger point is that she basically said that the Constitution needs to take a break for their convenience.
Right, exactly. They don't care about people's rights. They don't care about the Constitution. And if anything, that literally makes them outside of the law. So she admitted that they break the law at Northern Neck, and they need to be held accountable. She admitted it to everybody's faces. And I don't understand how she's able to maintain her job at that point. If anything, that's a good reason why that jail should be shut down. Because the superintendent isn't going to follow the law, or the law of the land, or the Constitution. Then what makes you think anybody below her will?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point, Maurice.
And but I got to admit that from my chair, and I worked for the federal government for several decades, this problem needs to be brought to a higher level, because they're going to say that they were following orders, and it would be appropriate to go after those that are generating the orders.
Right.
Because
that's the other thing too, that excuse, just following orders. I couldn't tell you how many times I heard that in Northern Neck when I watched a guard just completely disrespect an inmate or do something that was just completely unnecessary. Oh, I'm just following orders, man. That's the exact same excuse that every single soldier in the German army said when they decided to gas somebody.
Hey,
or
Robert.
when they decided to shoot somebody.
Robert, we got a call from the Gulag, so if we can let you go. I'll tell you what, I'm so happy to talk to you, but let us pick this up, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Perfect. Well, hey, thank you very much for your time. And let whoever is calling you next, let them know that you were just on the phone with the Lego Man, and I'm proud of them, and I wish them all the best. God bless you guys. Thank you for your help and your support, and we will talk soon.
Nice talking to you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. See ya.
30 minutes, that was good.
Robert Morse, Lego Man, aka Lego Man. Well, we did miss the other call because but they'll give a ring back. They'll give a ring back.
yeah. So that, I do find that bothersome. There's not enough reverence paid to the Constitution.
No, it's really important that you brought that up because the fact was, they are not. I mean, even common goodness would say that you don't subject your local citizens to,
Convicted felons.
you know, to the bad people that they bring in here. Think about it. If this really was a regional jail, and it is a regional jail in that it services 4 counties and the jurisdiction of Warsaw, but they bring the majority of their revenue comes from their federal inmates that they bring in, and these people are all over the place in terms of what they've done. So, all right, well, Robert Morris was on spot with that. So many things that I could have asked him about. And the other thing, remember, he did the code of conduct. Early on when he was at Northern Neck. I don't remember who he wrote it with, but the two of them got together and wrote a biblically based, quoting verses from the Bible and the reasons for how they should behave, amongst themselves, to their guards, to their captors, to, just everything. And I thought that was really well done. So Robert's a leader. He's fantastic. Let's see what else I wanted to cover here tonight. Do you have anything, Cheryl, that you'd like to talk about before the phone rings again?
I'll think about it.
I can. So I was just talking while Robert was on the phone about the abuses that are taking place, that you get the excuse that I was just following orders. And on December 9th, up there in New York, there was another situation where an inmate was beaten to death, and he had only arrived at that facility a couple of hours before they beat him to death. And it was the guards that beat him to death. It was caught on body cam, and the footage shows the whole thing, and it's horrendous. I'll share the link in just a minute.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from John Manuelos, an inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. Your current balance is $22.09. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hello.
John, how are you tonight?
Good, Tom, and thank you for letting me be on you guys' show. It's me, John Emmanuel Manuelos, here at the DC jail.
Well, thanks, John. By the way, we just got off the phone with somebody who is a legend among you J6ers. His name is Robert Morse.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Robert Morse, Lego Man.
Lego Man. Okay. I've heard of some legends that passed through this the gulags from here in DC, but I don't think so. Maybe by Lego Man. Yes, I've heard maybe something like that.
So the story why he got the name.
Guy.
Yeah, the reason he got the name Lego Man is he had a Lego set of the United States Capitol in his closet, and when the FBI raided his house, they found the Lego set of the Capitol and said, "Aha, we found him. He's planning to attack and overthrow the government." But guess what? The Lego box was never opened. It was new in the package. So.
Oh.
But he's the Lego Man now.
He's the Lego Man. And he was on the show, he was on the program?
Yeah, he was just called us, and he was on Cowboy Logic just recently on a Christmas special, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
He's in a halfway house
I
now.
heard of. So he's almost done, huh?
He's in halfway, you said?
He's in a halfway house.
Yeah.
Okay, good for him. Yes, yeah.
He's the reason why we raise our fists when we say still there. He's the one that did that.
Say that again?
When we say the anthem and we say still there, we raise our fists and we say still there. He's the one that
He's the one
started
that
that.
started that.
Yes.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? Do you guys have a good Christmas?
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
Good.
How's it sense?
Carol wants to know how things are going for you.
Good. It's been, I guess the guards, I heard something that there were guards are giving some of the J6s a hard time in the morning. So I woke up early, because I sleep during the day and I wake up at nighttime. And I stay up through all the night. I'd rather stay to myself. It's because it's the last 20 days, so I want to just kind of put my head down and make it. So I got up this morning and I saw some interesting things that the guards are kind of giving some of the J6s a hard time, the favoritism, just little kid stuff, little immature stuff that these 40-year-old, 40 years working at DC jail is it's just kind of, you know I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of like favoritism, and they're being like kind of hard on us and kind of picking on some of the J6s. But besides that, everything's good. I don't like seeing none of my brothers here get picked on or messed with or anything like that. So they're just, I get disappointed at the guards, how immature they really are,
Well,
and how they don't take their job seriously.
yeah. Do you think that because they know that your time is limited, that's why they're picking on you a little bit?
I came to that conclusion, because I'm trying to figure out why would they change up? Why would they switch up so fast and try to put us in danger, like in risks of fights and stuff like that, where I'm like, damn, what happened? And so, yeah, I just pretty much, you know, Johnny Hutchinson, they warned us, they told us, hey man, it's almost to the end, just try to keep your head low, and they try to prepare us for all this stuff. So we're pretty much aware, and these guys are, you know, they have their I pretty much, if they could just to write everything down, just in case if anything goes down, that we'll have record of it.
Right.
But besides that, everything is pretty good.
Well, good, but you're smart to do that and yeah, to record it, but also, you know, you're right to think, to realize that anything they can do to blemish you, right, to make you look like badder people than you are, worse people than you really are, you know, helps the narrative against J6. So you guys will rise above it, I'm sure. Huh.
Yeah, but besides that, all is well.
Hey, John, could you just fill me in for a minute? Did you already have your sentencing?
No.
You did not? Okay. What date is it set for?
February.
You don't know the date?
That's all right, we can find it.
I got court this next month on the 27th, I think, just a static hearing.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, they don't keep you around very long after you've had sentencing. So the other guys have moved out pretty quick, right?
Yes, all the guys have pushed their sentencing way back, so we're probably the only ones that are going to stay now.
Yeah.
Bertie, Freddie, and his Uncle Bob, they've been pushing their date back. They've been fighting every step of the way to push it back. So I'm pretty sure they're going to make it through this with us.
Well, what I heard from I was there at their hearing that they had, where Bob, Greg and his Uncle Bob, that's where they also remanded his brother right into custody that day. But basically, they hadn't seen their discovery. That's the thing. I got a recent letter from another individual who said that the mail system is about 45 days behind, or it had been. And if you don't get your discovery, how can you go to sentencing? And if you aren't able to review that with either by yourself or with your attorney. So they got a problem there. They're trying to push all these things through a tiny little hole here, and I think they're hitting their maximum. So besides, this is the Christmas holiday. There's no sentencings are happening this week that I looked at, and I don't think there's much next week happening. So we'll be into January before we know it.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah. Wow. So, all right. So let's see. You talked about, in the past, you talked about your kids. You want to get back and spend some time, be near them. What are your plans? I mean, do you have somewhere to go when you come out? And hopefully it's like January 20th, 21?
Yes, my mom and my sister been real supportive. I'm hoping they have pretty much a job for me to do, and they allow me to do that job. They're pretty much just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah. Okay.
I changed my mind about the whole. I watched like a whole like I think they had a marathon, a Christmas marathon on Snap about it took oxygen and some oxygen to show on Snap. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna like forget about trying to fight a mother for my children. Right now, I just kind of like enjoy being alone. Maybe get a dog or a plant. You know, and just kind of just enjoy. Because everyone I know that's like married or something is like not really happy, and so I kind of just decided just to. Maybe
Be single.
not
Yeah. No, there's
Nothing
nothing
wrong
wrong.
with that.
Not at all. That's fine. I mean, you know, a lot to be said for that.
Don't rush it, it'll come if it's meant to be.
yeah. But besides that, all is well. Everyone seems to be in good spirits. The guards just kind of upset or whatever. I think they're kind of butthurt about that. We're leaving or they're trying to like, I don't know, but it was pretty interesting when I woke up and saw how they were treating J6s differently than the other prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of hurt my feelings. But besides that, everything is good.
Good.
Okay. Well, thank you for that information.
Yeah, and you guys had a decent Christmas celebration. I heard you at the DC Vigil. You've been speaking out there. You know, pretty much almost every night, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you part of the caroling, when you were singing the songs? Yeah, that was really nice. I really enjoyed listening to all the caroling, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yes, I'm excited that when these guys come out, they'll get a J6 choir, J6 construction company. At J6 pretty much everything, whatever helps out. I'm excited to see some of these guys become senators, and you know, there's some very intelligent J6s, and I really hope they make an impact on this country.
Well, you know what? You're right about that. I mean, and here again, I've said this before, many times before, that the federal government didn't realize who they were messing with when they locked up all the people like yourself for January 6th, because these were America's finest. They were there to do what should be enshrined in the Constitution, to be able to redress their grievances with their government. Nobody went there to take over the Capitol building. If anybody was going to do that, they would have come a very different way. So we know that. And so, yeah, they didn't count on this. I talked about it on January 6th last year. I gave a talk in front of the Department of Justice. And I said that this was the unintended consequences of January 6th, is that they awakened a sleeping bear. I mean, we hear that phrase all the time, but true patriots, they wrapped them up, and their families and everybody got involved in this, John, and they didn't realize who they messed with here. So
I agree with you, Tom. I couldn't have said it any better way. I'm a servant leader. I'm here to serve, and hopefully I'm able to be used by my sister and my mom in a good way, with all the information I've learned and knowledge I've gained, hopefully they put me in good use. If not, you guys are more than willing to, like I said, I'll volunteer some of my kids to become mighty men of God, patriots, and to see if wherever this goes, I'm down. You know, why not?
Hey, this is an amazing time to be alive. I mean, obviously, you're probably not feeling quite the same amazement that I do because you're sitting behind bars. But you're part of history now,
Yeah,
John.
you
You guys are truly
American
making history right this moment.
Yeah, I agree, and you know, I see it, and that's why I tell my fellow J6ers to be cautious and don't do dumb shit, don't say dumb shit.
Yeah, don't give them an excuse.
You might get erased, you might get forgotten, and just yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, even for me as just a helper to work and to be able to help out any fellow J6er and they need my help, and I'm here. I'm willing to serve, and I feel like I'm fulfilling my potential when I'm helping other people. When I'm thinking about myself, that's when I'm not too comfortable with life and stuff like that. But when I have something of purpose or I have something good, that's when I feel the best.
I think we all do, when you're helping someone else, yep. And the same goes for us. We
So
all need help, let us know. you know?
What state are you from? Where are you going back
Well,
to?
they call me in Illinois, but I'm originally been in Utah for about a decade or.
You have 1 minute remaining.
But I've been
I see.
bouncing back.
Yeah. Well, 1 minute.
I've been from Provo all the way to Austin. I've been all over Utah, but I was in Utah for about 10 years, and then I when my kids got brought to Illinois, I followed my kids around, and my sister got my kids. My story goes like the Hansel and Gretel story. I was the dad that picked the wrong person, and you know, of course the kids end up forgiving. If you listen to the Hansel and Gretel story, you'll see how the kids forgive the dad at the end. But I made mistakes. And,
We all
you
have.
know, yeah, and yeah, I'm just I've been blessed that my kids are with my sister and my mom, and I got nothing. I'm just chill.
Thank you for using Global Telling.
Thank you, John.
John Banuelos. So he said his sentencing is in February. We don't have a date yet on that, but we'll have to look that up.
I didn't bring that.
That's fine. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, volunteers as kids. So.
All right. John Banuelos.
He volunteers his kids. I know, that's wonderful. Yeah, take my kids.
Please.
What was this
Wonder how old his
program he
kids
was
are.
talking about? Snap?
Yeah, I don't know. That was interesting. All right, folks. A couple of things that need to check out. There is a report out from the Department of Justice. This is the Office of the Inspector General. It is called a review of the Department of Justice's issuance of compulsory process to obtain records of members of Congress, congressional staffers, and members of the news media. It's dated December 2024. It's on the DOJ website. The full version of this report contains information that the DOJ determined to be grand jury information or law enforcement sensitive and therefore could not be publicly released, so parts of it are redacted. But I highly recommend taking a look at it. It goes into details on how basically the FBI went after news reporters and members of Congress all throughout the Trump administration and still today. There's so much that's available that our Congress, these reports that they're putting out. There was recently a report that was put out on the coronavirus. and the things that we learned from that, which was very quietly shuffled out there. So this information is in front of us, folks. We just need to go and get it. So again, I highly recommend looking up this report from the Department of Justice.
What's it called?
It is called, and I'll show it on the screen, it is a review of the Department of Justice's issuance of compulsory process to obtain records. So this is a requirement by the law that they have to show their processes when they go for this kind of information, just so we can keep an eye on what they're doing. Well, it seems that, I'm sorry I didn't give the website for that, Maurice, but yeah, it's just another example right in front of our faces of what they've been doing to us and what they continue to do in terms of weaponizing these government agencies against the people of the United States. So check it out. Off.
On. That's weird. It says on.
Sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
Easier for me to take a picture than I know.
Yeah. How are we doing for time?
8:22. Well, one of us is
Something like that.
something like that.
We're getting good signal here, it looks like.
Satellite must have bounced one foot off.
Yeah, we are getting good signal. I can run 2 streams at the same time on my laptop going through my phone.
I would have seen it
One thing I wanted to mention,
with no reception. 3 days, yeah.
Sidney Powell's License to Lie. I've just taken the opportunity to crack this open and start to read it, and it highlights the issues that the January Sixers have been facing. This was written in 2014, I think. Yeah, 2014 from Sidney Powell. So, pretty amazing that there was a quote in here in the foreword. The foreword was offered by Alex Kaczynski, who was a federal judge. So I'm going to read this to y'all real quickly here. Again, this is from License to Lie, Sidney Powell. The author of this book is a former prosecutor turned private practitioner who represented a defendant in one of the high-profile cases discussed in the pages that follow. She was called in by the defense team after the client had been convicted. As she describes her first meeting with the client and his lawyers, they were, in quotes, traumatized, exhausted, wrung out, meek, and broken, end quote, as a result of what had been a brutal trial. Quotes, I seem to have more testosterone than all of them put together, quote, she quips. In truth, Sidney Powell has more testosterone than pretty much any roomful of lawyers, be they men or women. That's from Alex Kaczynski, who did the foreword of this book. So, yeah, Sidney Powell's got it going on.
Love that lady. Sidney Powell is awesome.
And Sidney Powell, by the way, is referenced by my favorite author of all time of late, Howell Woltz, in Justice Denied. He talks about Sidney Powell, not in that book, but in my correspondence with him afterwards. She is a proponent, as are several other high-profile people, of the plan to basically use the Article 3 courts, the Article 3, to create an Article 3 court of an office of ombudsman to give citizens somewhere to go when they've been wrongly prosecuted, etc. So I think it's a great idea. It's at least worthy of conversation. So that's one that you're going to hear more about from me.
I was just looking to see the front cover of that document you had earlier. But I love Sidney Powell. I've had faith in her ever since she made the comment that the Kraken is going to come out, and that's, to me, that's just amazing. But the one that always confused me was the younger gal that worked with him way back in the day. Her name escapes me right now, but I'm sure everybody out there is probably going to tell me.
Jenna Ellis.
Yeah, Jenna Ellis. It's like she suddenly, halfway through Biden's administration, turned. I was like, I didn't see that coming.
She pled guilty, I think, is what she did. Is that what you mean by turning?
Well, no, she's even on social media. She's hammering Trump and all this other stuff. I'm like, what the heck is she doing? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Anyways, so maybe she felt a little scalded because she had to plead guilty. I don't know. Anyhow.
I also got a letter, I didn't bring it along, but a letter from Rockne Earl. I think I told you about that. I texted you that he's been getting the Sentinels and the newsletters, and he hasn't been getting some books that people have sent him, but he gave a really nice letter.
He sent me a letter too.
Did he? Okay. Yeah, fantastic. And like I mentioned before, the other gentleman was a friend of his. That's how I think he got our address. But that was Ryan Wilson. So I'd like to reach out to Ryan as well as the rest of them. I know last time we were here, I talked about the organization that is a ride home kind of a thing. Are you guys up to speed on that? What's going on with it? As far as what's going to happen if all these guys get out on January 20th, 21st?
Tammy said that everyone's going to be taken care of, so whoever lives near a BOP is going to be assigned that prison to wait in front and see if anybody needs a ride home.
Tammy Perry?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where can we learn more about that? Do you know?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to do some research on that and get it out to everybody, but I think there's opportunities to help people to get to where they need to go, people to drive, whatever, yeah. I'm willing to do that here from DC as well. We haven't talked.
I'm gonna work on this, but I saw just this past week that there is a piece of land that's been donated, and they're looking for people to sign up to donate money or skills, kind of like in a what's that? Homes for
Roadhouse.
Yeah, Roadhouse is the name of the project. And if you look that up, you can probably find it before me because I'm still holding the microphone. But they're looking for people with skills. They're looking to get people on schedules and funding to build, I don't know what kind of homes, but to house people that don't really seem to have anywhere to go once they get released. Because as you know, family and friends tend to abandon heroes. And these people are going to need some place to put their head on a pillow. And so that's that particular cause.
But you didn't say who.
I have to dig and pull that up because right now I'm working on memory banks that are 63 years old.
Yeah, so all I know is I wrote to Tammy Perryman and I asked her, I said, since we don't know when the guys are getting out, how do we make sure that all the BOP locations have Patriots ready for our J6ers when they get out? And she responded, there are people working on that to ensure everyone has a ride home and somewhere to go.
Okay. So I guess that means they've got it covered, is that what they're saying?
Yes, so.
Okay, that's what I would assume.
And I tell you what Chris told me.
Let's hear it.
Goes on. He says, all I need is a ride to a Walmart, an Uber ride. And
He's not gonna get no Uber ride.
yeah.
That's was in Walmart. Walmart don't have it, he don't need it.
He says or a bar.
Or bar. Yeah. Aw. I bet.
But apparently, you know, like,
I wonder what
Like
the
all
first
these
thing a
guys.
lot of them will be doing when they first get
I
out. I
mean-
mean, like,
I mean, all these guys are gonna get out, right? So you get out, and you don't have a cell phone, you don't have anything. You remember on our cell phone, we have all our contacts. I don't even know what Maurice's telephone number is unless I had a cell phone. You know, so one of the guys, Chris, says, I don't have any contacts, so I'm, you know, have to send him some phone numbers and stuff tomorrow.
time to get some tattoos.
Tattoo you.
I don't, you know, you don't remember your,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
everybody's telephone number.
Get one number that you know is faithful, put it on.
So Maurice, you were talking about Jenny Cudd, and that's her handle on X is at Jenny Texas 1, announcing the first ever J6 reentry program. It is j6roadhome.com. The J6 Road Home Project is a comprehensive in-person program offered entirely free of charge to January 6 defendants. It is dedicated to fostering healing, wellness, and wholeness in body, soul, and spirit. And so, yeah, I think they have 50 acres or something like that, and they're going to build little tiny homes on there. They actually have a little chapel already on the property. It's really, really cool what they're doing.
I
So,
thought it was 6 acres.
I don't
No,
know.
it's a lot. It's a fairly large chunk of land.
I thought I saw
That's
6.
awesome. Well, gotta get the word out on that, because even J6 will want, you know, might need that.
Well, some will.
Mm-hmm.
Some will need it.
So again, pound J6 Road Home or j6roadhome.com.
I can't read the picture.
Where Heather's not somewhere that she can get phone calls, so I'm not sure she's working with the guys in there texting them like she always does. to give me calls.
Oh, yeah. She normally coordinates the calls now, yeah.
It's a fair chunk of land.
It says,
I dropped these. My bank account's going to show you, and I got a printout for you so you can see where I'm at, and then this, the last meeting, remember? So I did the collections, so I just, what I got, the copy of what I got, and just show you what you're standing. It's been a while.
No, that's good. Yeah, I wanted to.
I'll show you my book, what I'm doing and how I'm doing it.
Okay.
Tell me, you know, whatever.
Look at this, here we
But
are.
it's very hard because I don't write checks, I don't know what's going out, I just know what I'm paying in, so I'm
It's a
basically.
nice piece of
the
land.
record of deposits.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how many pieces, how much they're.
I'm gonna go
Head
ahead.
and finish our continue speaking about some of these updates.
Okay.
Unless you had something, I'm sorry. And again, these are on the NPR website where they have the database of J6, all things J6. As last update was December 20th, 2024, and as of then, there were 1,566 arrests. Christopher Carnell, 20 years old from Cary, North Carolina, he was found guilty on all charges in a stipulated bench trial. Works every time.
just talking and somebody else.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. Your current balance is $20.38. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hello.
Hello.
Who's
Hey,
there?
Tom, how are you?
Good. Who's that?
This is Dave Ball calling.
Daniel. Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right, thank you. Yes, counting down the days here.
Yes, indeed.
Depending on who you ask, we're down to 24 days, according to Gregory Purdy. I say 25 because I count today and the 20th is 10 days. But
That's a day
we have
too.
other people that, sorry?
No, I just said that's a day too, yeah.
Yeah, because today's the
Right.
27th,
Yes, 27.
Correct.
27th, 25. So 20 days in January.
Right, so I'm counting 25 days till inauguration.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We
that's
all pray for
it's
that.
coming. It's going to be here before we know it. That's for sure, man.
Oh, yeah. Sure looking forward to it, that's for sure. I want to say thanks to Cheryl, Tom, anybody who contributed to the Christmas gift program. That helps out my family so much. I can't thank you enough. I sure wish I could show my gratitude, but I really can't. I thank you. I love you.
I'm glad we were able to sign you up.
Yes.
Absolutely. That was such an unbelievable help. Anybody who donated out there, it really made our Christmas. Made my family's Christmas. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Well, that's great. And there are so many people. I mean, that was a pretty good fundraiser. Like we were tracking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we
Absolutely.
were.
I was very impressed.
Yeah, they kept the numbers kept going up and up and up, and even I mean they kept it open right up to the last minute, I think. So that was pretty fantastic.
Well, there's a lot of patriots out there, a lot of good people out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and for what better cause than the children that have been affected by this? I mean, you know, it just, that's the thing. You
Yeah.
guys, it's the thing that they can't give back to you, Daniel.
No.
You know, that's the thing that they've taken. I mean, everything else you'll get back. You'll be able to figure out, but that time from your children is precious. You know, so we
Yeah.
get it. But I'm glad that was able to make a difference in your family.
Oh, man. I can't even describe it. Yeah, my mom was in tears, or so was I. It warms the heart to see the help pour in like that. It was a lot, really. It was a lot. My son had a big Christmas because of the Patriots out there and people like you guys. I can't thank you enough.
Wow. Wow.
That's great.
More than glad to do it.
So how old is your son? I think you've told us before, but I don't remember.
12 years old. He's 12.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's a kind of a, you know, a cool age. It's sort of still kid and not quite, you know, growing into
Right.
you know,
He'll be a
teenager.
teenager next year.
Oh, yeah, big 13.
Right. I'll be there for that
And you'll
one.
be there for that,
Yeah.
that transition. Yep.
It's been rough on us. I mean, me and my son are each other's favorite people. I raised my son. I was very proud. One of the few things I can say I'm very proud about my life is how I raised my son. I was with my son by myself. I was a single father, and I raised my son. My parents would help. You know, I'd go to work, they'd watch while I was at work, but as soon as I got off work, I had my son. I quit the party and I quit, you know, dating women and all the fun things that single guys do. I raised my son, which was better than all that. So,
You made him your priority.
but looking forward to getting back to it.
Fantastic. Yeah. Wow. That's
Yeah,
pretty
I got new books in. I don't know if you all know Mary and Kevin Anderson, great patriots. They come and visit us. They're at the DC vigil a lot for us. But I got some new books in from them. I got the Henry David Thoreau, Civil Disobedience, Thomas Sowell's Controversial Essays, which I got into. That's a real good book. Gulag Archipelago,
Nice.
and Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage.
Great.
It starts today.
One of my favorite books. One of my absolute favorites.
Which one?
The Endurance by the Ernest Shackleton story.
Absolutely, it's already got me gripped. So
It's hard to put down.
Further into it.
Yeah, it's hard to put down. It's a true story. That's the other amazing thing about it, you know. And I'm not going to give any of it away, but it's an amazing story of survival. And I'll just say this much: it's set during World War I. On the eve of World War I, they sailed off to try to make it across the Antarctic They were going to take a dog sled team across, and I'll just say that that didn't happen.
Didn't go well. It didn't go well.
But it's an amazing story. Yeah, amazing story. Wow, that's a good one, especially for winter time. That's
Anything new out there?
yeah, it's Christmas time, and I've been traveling a little bit, just visiting my folks, and that was great. I'm back here in Virginia now, and it's the end of the year. Try to get ready to go, but I'm excited for January 6th. I'm going to be in D.C. I'm going to be marching there with the other Patriots, and we're going to lay flowers by the Capitol for Ashley Babbitt at 2:44 p.m. There are other events going on that day, and so I think it's going to be a big deal. I'm excited to be able to do that. Yeah.
I'd like to be there with you. I'll be here in DC with you.
Well, you'll be there, and I'll be on Freedom
yeah.
Corner. I'll be on Freedom Corner with you, and I'll talk to you that night, hopefully.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
You got your New Year's resolution?
Ha! New Year's resolutions? I'm looking
No,
around
I
here.
haven't
Nobody's.
even thought
I
about it.
don't see anybody shaking their head.
I have a theory. The only reason that New Year's resolutions exist is because of the holidays that come before them.
Yeah, eat.
Gotta get rid of the weight.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Which cookie should I have tonight?
Well, I want to get in better shape.
I was
I'm not
gonna
going to
say,
be
get in
doing
better
any
shape would be
burpees and all that
mine.
kind of stuff like you guys do
No.
in there. You guys are unbelievable.
Burpees? Oh my God.
You guys are going to come out of there, better
Beasts.
shape than you went in. I think probably a lot of you will.
Well, I've actually been stepping it up recently, but I slacked a lot of my time in here. Concussion kind of hit me pretty hard at the beginning of this adventure.
Really?
So, but I've been picking it up. I've been working out the past couple months here, and I'm seeing results from it.
Good.
It's doing a lot better. But that's my be healthier in my New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's great. I mean, especially since you guys are not given much in the way of, this is the thing I never understood, like you don't have a gym, so your workouts, you have to come up with that yourself,
Oh yeah, we have Jonathan Pollock, and he makes incredible dumbbells and out of water bottles. He binds them together, and they're actually pretty impressive. We have all kinds of different weight groups. We've got the 7-pounders, we have the 11-pounders, 28-pounders.
What? Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
2 pounders for me.
They're considered contraband though, so every so often they come in here and they throw them away on
Take
it.
it away from you.
And we have to rebuild.
Rebuilt.
Wow. That's something. Yeah.
Well, it keeps you entertained anyway.
So you're gonna go back to Florida when you get out?
That's the plan.
Good.
And that's Florida, Sunshine State.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so what part of Florida, just generally? I mean, you don't have to say if you don't want to, but.
I'm on the west coast, Citrus County, about an hour north of Tampa.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely beautiful. It's not typical Florida. It's very hilly, very rocky. The coast is not beach-like at all. It's very rocky, very brutal,
Really?
hostile terrain. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's not not
Tourist
sandy
destination.
bottom. It's you can't just jump off the boat or dance. You'll slice your foot right off. It's oysters and barnacles,
It's wild.
sharp, jagged rocks all over.
Wow. So do you fish much, and is that good for fishing?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Actually, Hoboken, Florida, we have a wildlife park there, and there's a fish observatory that goes through the water. You have to take a stairwell down into a glass room that look at this massive spring there. They claim that there's more species of fish right there in Hoboken, Florida, than anywhere else in the world. It's the spring. It's not a fish tank or anything. It's an open water spring, and there's more species of fish than anywhere in the world right there.
Really? Wow. Cool.
But yeah, I do a lot of fishing, a lot of redfish, black drum, My dad, he's an avid fisherman. He fishes all the time. I'm not quite as often as him, but I love to get out and I like to fish for reds. But my favorite fish to fish for and eat.
Yeah, we have a type of drum. It's red and black drum that come here into the Chesapeake. So
you have red drum here, the spots on the tail?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay, that's my favorite fish right there.
Oh, no kidding. How about that? Yeah, I was lucky enough to catch a few of those this summer, right in my cove.
What's their size limit?
I think it's 14. I think that's what it is. But don't.
Okay, it gets smaller here. It's
Don't.
18
Is it?
in my area.
Yeah. Don't come and get me, DNR if I'm wrong. Okay. But yeah. The other big one here is.
I guess I got duck and buck. I'm sorry?
I was just going to say rockfish is the other thing, or striped bass is the other really big fish here in the Chesapeake that we love. So.
Oh, yeah, rockfish. My buddy Rodney Millstreet, he was in here with us. It's been a year since he left the big house, but he always talks about rockfish.
Yeah, they're good.
So he loves rockfish. I never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Good fish.
Yeah.
Striped bass.
Striped bass. It's also called striped bass.
Oh, okay. The rockfish is also called striped bass?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right? So there's, yeah.
Stripers.
Okay, well, yeah, I might be, I could make something up there. But anyhow, but I guess I'm hopping on the DC vigil too, and Dominic Fox is about to call in here, so
Okay.
I'll go ahead and spare you from me for now, and we'll talk again here in the near future.
All right, Daniel.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
John, Cheryl, thank you all so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
God bless you. God bless America.
Good night.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
You want to read again so that somebody else will call?
Yeah, that's how it seems to work.
I'm seeing reports that another person's been set on fire outside of Penn Station in New York City.
What?
Yeah.
What is going on?
What did he say? What did you say? I couldn't hear you because that means nobody else will.
There's a report here that another person, I'm seeing reports that another person has been set on fire just outside of Penn Station in New York. This is happening now, apparently. Just saying, this report is, what's the timestamp? 3 minutes ago. So it's happening right now. Anyhow, apparently Penn Station is a known place where the illegal immigrants get dumped. So we don't know. There's not a whole lot of information out there on this right now. Like I said, it shows up on X before it shows up in any of the news outlets. So X is your news. But it's kind of scary that this crap is going on. I mean, that's a horrendous way to be murdered. If I had some clown throw gas on me and light it, I think I'd give him a big bear hug.
Right?
And never let go. Nope. So it's happening again, and it's horrendous because they're picking people that are pretty much defenseless. We're talking about like the first gal that was burned in the subway there. She was homeless, and no resources, no.
And no one would care.
And no one would care. I mean, I saw a picture of a cop standing there watching her burn to death. So, New York is a mess. All I can say is, where's Snake Plissken? Just craziness.
Sorry, I was born there.
Well, what I don't understand is how come police are not mandated to stop a crime? How can they sit there and watch a crime and not, in a society today, that should not be allowed? They should intercede, should they not?
So those rules, I know this because I remember what happened in New York, because they were like the leaders in this. They're more likely to do a fundraiser to get bail for the criminal than they are to worry about taking care of things. And they actually put rules in place so that is the case. They pretty much tied the cops' hands. Not only that, but they started hiring these migrants to be the cops. Go figure. Just saying, yo, I need a trophy. But
I'm
that's,
just saying that's something that needs to be
and
addressed.
you know, so like the governor of the state of New York doubled down on her position on this just the other day in favor of the criminal. Yes.
Okay, well, these are things we need to turn around.
Yes.
These are things we need to turn around, because no policeman should stand by and watch a crime or watch someone be attacked and do nothing.
Exactly.
They should go to jail.
Yes.
They should go to jail for doing that.
That should be considered
That
some
should
form
be
of aiding and abetting. Yeah, it should be.
Well, they would charge a citizen with that, would they not?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
They should not be exempt from the law.
No, they should not be. Nobody should be above the law, especially the people that say that.
Thank you.
You want to trade again?
Yeah. Let's do it.
8:52, you should give me a call.
Should be.
Now, so you're going on January 6th? I was thinking about it, I looked at it, and I'm like, I don't know, I have to look at my calendar and what my dates are. I know I have an appointment of some kind, but I don't know where.
January 6, 2025. As I said, there's going to be a march from, the march for Ashley Babbitt is going to be from from Peace Circle around the Capitol, and at 2:44 p.m., which is exactly when Ashley lost her life, is when those flowers are laid, at 2:44 p.m. So that's a big deal. I think that anybody who's near DC that can get there and go to attend that would be great. And then afterwards to go to the DC Vigil.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Dominic Fox.
an inmate at the Washington, D.C. Central Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, your current balance is $18.89. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hey, Dominic.
Hello, Northern Neck Patriot.
Dominic Box.
Hey, how we doing, guys? There was an aching and a longing in my heart that has been unfulfilled for almost a week now, and I'm sitting here thinking, what is it? What could it be? And I finally realized I was not able to talk to you guys last week, but glad to be back. And I wanted to say, it was Tom. Was it your birthday last week? Is that what I heard?
It was. I was actually at the DC Vigil that evening. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I heard. Well, we're both, I guess, now in our mid-30s. I just turned 35, or 36, 37, something like that.
That's
so,
right.
But hey, happy birthday to you. Does that make you a Sagittarius like me, or are you a Capricorn?
I'm a Sag.
Not that
Yes.
I'm big into astrology.
Yeah, I'm Sagittarius.
I'm
So
a Sagittarius.
yeah,
That's why we get along so good.
must be it.
Awesome.
Must be it.
Well,
A lot of
Well,
December
guys, hey,
babies.
I-
A lot of December babies. Yeah.
absolutely. Hey, I had a quick question. There's been a rumor that's been going around, something about a massive lawsuit that's been filed to the tune of like $50 billion.
Yes, sir.
The folks from the DC Vigil were talking about that tonight. Are you guys aware of that? Is there any insight you can give me so I can relay that to the guys?
Yeah, Maurice has read it. I have not, but Maurice is up on it.
So, it turns out that 100 of your closest brothers got together with a really good attorney and they have a plan. The case has not been filed yet. They're waiting until the 20th to file the paper. But they've got 100, an initial batch of 100 of the J6 hostages, and they put together a website to enroll more. Cheryl, my wife, spent a fair chunk of the afternoon enrolling others beyond the 100, and it's going to be huge because the complaints, they're not just going after a single entity, they're going after the system.
I printed out the article.
What is the?
I printed out the article.
Yeah,
I'm going to
please,
send it
if
to
you
you
could send me
tomorrow.
that.
It's on its way,
That
man.
would be incredible. Can I also ask Sheriff, can you enroll me in the lawsuit and my buddy Daniel Ball and John Morales and everybody else? They're all saying, hey, put me on.
Already done.
I love it. Hey, there we go. That's awesome. But yeah, please. I'm excited. You know, it's the interesting thing about it is, you know, none of us, except for maybe my buddy Brandon Fellows, who said that J6 is the best business opportunity he's ever seen. You know, none of us signed up to become a part of lawsuits or to, you know, hawk goods and goes or to, you know, hold our proverbial can out and ask for, you know, people to support us. You guys have stepped up and done that, which is incredible. But the fact is, myself and every other J6 descendant, man, woman, young and old, whether they spent time here in the Gulag or in the Northern Neck Regional Jail or any of the other ridiculous facilities throughout the country where they've scattered our men and women, we've all been through something that not only should have never happened, but can never happen again. Right. And one of the ways that we all know that some of that change actually happens comes about, hopefully, as a result of this type of legislation and these legal wranglings. You know, as somebody who's been a victim of the lawfare of the left, it's nice to know that there's people on our side who are stepping up and fighting back. And, you know, you look at the lady with the, I actually heard there's a whole lot more to the story about the woman who, like, burned herself with the McDonald's coffee being, like, scorching hot. But ultimately, you know, the standards were put in place. And, you know, there's stuff that goes on every single day that I see, just in this facility, in the court process, stuff that needs to be changed. So, you know, I don't know a ton about that situation, but Cheryl, thank you for, you know, I'm sure there's less people remaining to be signed up than have already been signed up. So that's awesome. You're doing great work, and I know everybody appreciates that. I do have one more special request. I was told that my Arkansas Razorbacks are playing in the world-famous AutoZone Liberty Bowl against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And sadly, we don't have access to that right now, but I know at one point, the Razorbacks of Arkansas were leading 14-3. So as is my tradition and great honor, I will carry us through the anthem here in about a minute and a half. But if anybody's sitting there at the table or wherever you guys are at tonight, maybe in the comments could let me know how the Arkansas Razorbacks are doing in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. I would greatly appreciate it. My mom is in, who some of you guys have talked to and know, is in Houston, Texas right now with family. So hello to Mom, hello to everybody there in Houston. And I'll say again a special quick thank you to everybody, Tom, specifically, and all the Northern Neck Patriots. You know, I don't have access to everything, but I know you guys stepped up and helped me not just reach but exceed the goal that I had set to make sure that I'm able to walk out of here with everybody, hopefully in about 24 days. So thank you guys for that.
Yep.
It's time to do the anthem. So after that, we fight. I'll be back.
Sounds good.
Through the perilous fight, for the
All right.
Thank you.
And
Puppy
every
dog.
time we do it,
It's awesome.
it sounds incredible, and we've got new guys that join us almost every week. It's an incredible thing. We actually have a new unit officer tonight, who I think it was obviously by her a surprised and overjoyed reaction. I think it was her first time seeing that. So to anybody out there that's listening right now, it's not just something we do on Friday nights at 9 p.m. with our friends in Northern Neck. It's something we do every single night here in the DC jail. It's been going on long before I got here. But if you'd like to join in, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every night. The J6 hostages, those here on this unit and at the other units throughout the jail, and I would imagine possibly even in other facilities around the country, continue to sing the national anthem. And I know I'm not alone when I say I remember the very first time I did it. I still get goosebumps when my hair stands up, and it's going to be one thing that I definitely miss when this. I'm excited to leave, but there's just little traditions and true brotherhood and camaraderie that comes in going through something like this. And, I'm sorry we didn't, it's a little bit different setup this year. We did have our J6 Christmas choir kind of, impromptu on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but, doing those songs, singing the national anthem, and just, having friends to talk to every day about what we're going through. It's going to be, there's a lot I'm looking forward to, but, the more I think about it, there's going to be stuff that I miss when this is all over with. But I'm ready to go. I'm absolutely ready to go.
Well, hey, you want to say something?
Well,
Go ahead.
I just want to say, I think when 9 o'clock comes, even when you're out, you're going to be thinking of 9 o'clock and sing the anthem.
A little go through your head
Absolutely.
anyway.
Absolutely.
Maybe
Well, hey, I've got to ask, was anybody able to find the score of the Arkansas Razorbacks game?
Maurice forgot.
Maurice is
So
working
I was busy singing. I was busy singing.
Hey, also, I want you to know that a J6 legend started our calls tonight. Robert Morse, Lego Man, called, and he wished you and everyone else, all the callers, he wished you all well. He wanted to give you his regards.
Oh, thank you, Robert, and to everybody else out there. No, man, it's good. I really look forward to meeting Robert and some of these other guys that are just, that were some of those early on guys that went through so much. Whether that reunion happens in the White House, Mar-a-Lago, or a Waffle House in Warsaw, Virginia. Do you guys have Waffle House in Warsaw? Is that a thing, or is that like?
It's a thing, but we don't have one
We have an
local.
update. We have an update on the score.
it's currently 19-24. The Razorbacks are leading.
All right, how much time's left?
It's a halftime.
Halftime.
This is halftime.
Oh, halftime. Oh, wow. Okay, close game.
So we've got an active game because that's a pretty high score for halftime.
And by the way,
What's that?
my cats do like dogs, so thank you very much.
Oh, good. I love it. Well, hey, Cheryl, thank you for you got the card. You got
Yes,
the card.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's awesome. Hey, no, that's incredible. No, that's good. I was worried. I don't know if I put the date on your card, but I realized like the dates all kind of blur together. It's like, oh my God, I've got to get some of these cards out. And so I'm glad that came. That's, the mail's such a nightmare here, but I'm glad you got that card. And, it's a pleasure to call you guys my friends, and it'll be a pleasure and an honor to call you guys again next week. So from myself and all the rest of the J6s still here in the Gulag, God bless you guys. Thanks for keeping us in your prayers and thinking about us. If you're interested, I would love to keep up with you guys when I'm gone from here. My Instagram account is instagram.com/NOT You follow my work on Rumble at Chatham Free Press. It's also on Facebook. And as you guys know, gibsonjoe.com/freedomj6. It's an honor, a pleasure, and a great experience to be a part of this with all of you guys. And I look forward to talking to you again next week. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, and I will also, I meant to say, I will be on the Cowboy Logic show next Saturday and Sunday. It was supposed to be last week, but Charlie Kirk's America Fest kind of messed up their scheduling, but I'm going to be sharing some kind of behind the scenes stuff that's been happening here
that I don't really talk about on the vigil. It's kind of happened since the integration that I think people would be interested in. But again, thank you guys for being there for us, and I look forward to seeing all of you and giving you guys a hug when this is all over with. God bless you guys, and I'll talk to you next week.
And we will see you in
Talk to you.
2025.
Yep, 2025.
2025.
Good night.
Thank you for using Global Telling.
For those that maybe didn't get to watch the Charlie Kirk live fest that he was talking about, Donald Trump spoke at that. It was in Arizona, and I got to tell you, I've been to the rallies, and that was one of the best speeches I've ever heard him give. It was awesome. You know, you would think that the guy was still running for office.
Which one was this?
This was last week in Arizona, at the Turning Point USA rally, and Trump comes out there and he hits everybody. He's basically telling them, I'm coming,
Good.
and you can't stop me.
You see that on the Panama Canal?
I did.
I was like in shock, but at the same time so proud.
Yeah,
That
it's
someone
coming.
finally had the kahunas to stand up to this junk.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to sign off, everybody. Good night. Thank you for joining us. Spread it
Tom
around.
just shot it down, yes.
Anything else, Maurice?
No, that's it, I'm good.
All right, God bless everybody, and Happy New Year. We'll talk to you in 2025.
Sorry.
That's what Hooper was talking about, the
Yeah,
Panama
I
Canal.